Situated in the Mediterranean Sea, the island of Sardinia is one of 20 provinces of Italy. Sardinia is famous for its many different attractions. The Emerald Coast, in fact, is a popular destination with holidaymakers. It also has a history spanning over 1,000 years, right the way back to the Nuraghi civilization. It also attracted the attention of 007, where the famous Lotus Esprit transformed into a submarine. But tonight's main attraction in Sardinia is round 4 of the Renault Megane Trophy, sponsored by Power Max Racing. I'm Jack TM53 Synopsis, your commentator for tonight. Here at the B variant of the Sardinia road course, we've got a lot of action sure to come ahead of us. We're in practice at the moment. Drivers are just getting a feel for the track before the qualifying officially commences. We're just following Slow Seamus at the moment, and he's in the works car there. You can see he's got Haas just in front of him, who had a relatively decent race last time out, did Haas. He finished in 5th place during that race in the reverse grid for the top 4. Haas was one of those drivers, and so far looking pretty swish in the garage floor tile company car there. Whilst we're here in practice at the moment, while we're just about to start in that case, we'll run through the championship standings at the moment as they are. So, looking at the tables, we've got in first place at the moment on 57 points, Carterboy 99. He had a great race from the back of the grid last time out at Lago Maggiore. Was first across the line, but a time penalty sadly right at the end of the race. He was 2 corners away from home, got himself a 1-second penalty, ended up finishing 2nd place. D Whitehouse, he's 2nd in the championship. He's on 49 points, 8 points back from Carterboy. 3rd is KZ2 Haas, we just mentioned him then. He's on 48 points. Snav is in 4th. Just trying to see where Snav is at the moment. He's down in 13th, having not set a lap time, but he's on 39 points in the championship. Zlatan is back. He's in 5th place, and he's currently got the fastest time in practice as it stands on a 22.1. Richard P is in 6th place overall. He's on 29 points. Slow Seamus is also tied on 29 points with him. Slow Seamus, don't forget, after having a really difficult opening 2 rounds, considered even quitting the league at one stage, ended up getting pole in the win last time out. That's just how dramatic this league is at the moment. 3 different runners in the opening 3 rounds. So Bertis is 8th overall. He's on 27 points. Coleman 89. He's on 26 points. So 6th to 9th there, covered by 3 points. Kyonko-chan, he's in 10th in the championship on 22 points. You won't see Kyonko-chan qualify tonight. He has a qualifying ban due to an incident that happened last week at Lago Maggiore, so he has to sit in the pits for the time being. In 11th place in the championship standings, we got Danzo, who's currently in 8th place. He's in the pits at the moment at the Tank Tools car. We've got this man who we're watching at the moment, Shadow Stalker. He's in 12th position with 14 points in the Gaisin car. DMK, he's in 13th place with 13 points, so perfect symmetry for DMK. He's in the pits at the moment as well. Greener Army, our lobby host, he's 14th overall with 11 points. And lastly, the unluckiest driver in the whole grid, it has to be said, 1805 in the Steel Seal car there, is in 15th place with 5 points. The qualifying session has commenced. Nice slide from 1805 there as we switch over now to qualifying around Sardinia Road Track B. Going to be an interesting qualifying session this, it has to be said. Number of drivers have been setting some reasonably quick lap times. We're looking at the 22s potentially as the drivers come out of the garage here at the moment. Going to be interested to see who gets the sort of pole position and potentially is going to be setting the pace during qualifying. Current favourite at the moment is the man in 7th place according to the time screens at the moment, although he's only just come out of the pit. Zlatan is back in the Adrian Flux car. He has been setting some really good pace during practice sessions so far. He was quickest of all in that practice session as well by a couple of tenths. So you have to feel that Zlatan is the favourite to take pole position here. Seems as though the whole grid has come out of the pit box by the looks of it. I don't think that's, aside from Kionko-chan of course. Richard P, Coleman and Snav, they're yet to come out too. So we'll watch as the drivers go through this brilliant circuit, has to be said, the Road Track B variant. It's got a few corners in it, a few less corners of course than the overall circuit itself. It's 13 corners. Is it interesting challenging the Renault Megane car? It has to be said. They do tend to understeer through a number of these corners, and there are a couple of key corners on the circuit which we'll run through shortly. Whilst we're here, Greener Army looks like he's going to be the first to get over the line, so we'll ride on board with him and we'll go through a quick lap of Sardegna Road Track B. So we come up towards straight, should be hitting 6th gear, he's changed up, there goes Greener Army. Coming towards turn 1, difficult braking zone due to the gravel on the outside of the corner. Gets it down into 3rd gear, decides not to shift to 2nd instead. This is flat but can get it quite awkward going into turn 3. This corner, hard to say whether it's completely flat or not. You can see Zlat on his back is trying to go around the outside of Greener Army here as they go into turn number 4. He's still on the outside, he's going to try and go for the inside going into turn 5. As it stands though, Greener Army, I think he's moved out the way slightly for Zlatan, and he has done, as they come now down the hill towards this left-hander. Very quick, flat out, turn 6. No messing about with the throttle there, as is turn 7. Turn 8 is quite difficult on the brakes. You've got to get down into 2nd gear. It's a really, really tight apex. Greener Army preferring to use 3rd gear instead, so proving me wrong during this qualifying run. Down into 2nd gear maybe, or is he going to use 3rd? No, he's going to use 3rd. Please just touch the gravel as well as he goes through. Slow Seamus is going to go around the outside of him as they come towards turn 11. Bit of a lift needed to get round turn 11 to make sure you set a good lap and you don't run too wide. And then the little left-right, almost half chicane effectively, rounds out the qualifying lap. Track limits are on weak so that we don't have people taking advantage, because you can seriously cut the corner as Greener Army comes across the line 4 seconds slower than Zlatan at the moment. More time to come from him though, you could see that as he was trying to move out of the way of Zlatan. So, looking at the lap times, we've got, as they're coming across the line, we've got 18.05, he's currently in 2nd, only 700ths off Zlatan's pace. We can see Seamus is in 3rd there, we've got Haas in the garage floor tile company car, he's in 4th. Bertus has put himself into 5th in the Fuchs car. Not bad so far from Sir Bertus. He's just been pushed down to 6th due to D. Whitehouse going up into 4th place on the first lap so far. Bertus has tended to qualify sort of around the 6th, 7th position area over the first 3 rounds, so he's hitting the aggregates at the moment. He's on 6th place, he's 1.3 off the pace as it stands. There's Danzo, he retired last time out at Lego Maggiore. He'll be hoping for better tonight. He's done a 24 flat to begin with. He's 9/10 off his best lap though, going through sector 2, so more time to come from him for certain. Carter Boy is in 8th as it stands, our championship leader. You'd imagine that he can go quicker than that because he does have a decent sized lead in the championship at the moment. A couple of more times coming through at the moment. You can see Richard P's just done a 26.8, so not quite sure where that's put him in the timetable at the moment. He's down in 14th as it stands. Might be he had a bit of traffic going through the corner there. There's Carter Boy. He's just set provisional pole as it stands at the moment. He's done a 22 flat. Haas, as Carter Boy goes back to the pits, he's now moved up into 2nd on a 22.3. Zlatan's just come back out of the pits. More time to come from Zlatan, suspected. And I think some drivers are bouncing back into the pit lane just to avoid the traffic. It does seem quite hectic throughout this course. It is a short lap, admittedly. It is only roughly 1 minute 20 odd seconds. Seamus has put a comment in the corner there. You can see what was that, wondering what happened between the two. Maybe an apology due later on. It might have been an accident, who knows for the time being. DMK in the Sales I car, he's in 6th at the moment. Good showing from DMK in the early stages. He did qualify 3rd at Lego Maggiore last time out due to the reverse grid, but he didn't finish the race. It was a bit of a mystery what happens to DMK. We just saw him pulled over to the side of the road, so hopefully he can finish this time around and get some decent points on the board. Seamus is there in 7th. Richard P. has gone a little bit quicker. He's on a 24.2. So still time to find compared to the drivers around him. Danzo's done a 23.6. That's just got him inside the top 10. Bertus is just apologising there to D. Whitehouse. Not sure what happened between the two of those there. Zlatan now going out to set another lap. He did return to the pits earlier. Out he goes again. That's there. Just coming through turns 4 and going through into, well, rather approaching turn 5 as he goes around turn 4 at the moment. A nice line from him, using as much of the track as possible. 400ths down on Carter Boy, or rather his own best time at the moment. 2/10 off Carter Boy currently. Let's see how he gets on. He hasn't performed spectacularly in qualifying, has Haas, throughout this season. Tends to be the sort of quieter driver on the circuit, prefers to get his race results in. Looking through his qualifying, he's through the first 3 rounds, he's qualified 2nd at Brands Hatch, 5th at Kyoto, and then obviously he couldn't qualify last time out at Maggiore due to the top 4 reverse grid. So can he equal or even better his best qualifying result of the season? There's Zlatan, looks like he might be on a quicker lap time. Coleman now gets into the 22s. That's good enough for 8th place. 18.05 goes P1 provisionally at the moment with 2 minutes 35 to go in the session. Cracking lap time from 18.05. As I said earlier on, he has had the worst amount of luck of any driver in this series. He's really been unfortunate with a number of incidents. And he's had 2 DNFs and a 12th place to his name, and that's certainly not reflective of his ability. But still some time to go yet in the session. Let's see whether he stays on top with 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go. Greener Army's gone off into the barriers by the looks of it, approaching turn 6. He might have got on the throttle too early coming out of turn 5. Here's Carter Boy coming towards the line. Is he going to improve on his lap? He does, but he's only 700ths of a second behind 18.05. He's got time for 2 laps. Haas is there in 3rd. Someone else has gone off as we cut to it. There we go. I think that was Coleman 89 in the 3M car. Yeah, there he is. Just trying to rejoin the circuit. Something happened. He's obviously got on the throttle too early coming out of turn 8, and it's just spat him into the wall. Seamus has abandoned that lap as well. He's moving out of the way of everyone. D. Whitehouse 7 in 5th place at the moment. Said he hasn't done too many laps around Sardegna. That's not a surprise. Dave doesn't really know, or rather do much practice around the Gran Turismo original circuits, let's say. So half a second off. Still got time for 1 more lap, and he looks like he's just backing off to get himself a bit more space on circuit. Moving a little bit further back, Bertus has dropped further back from where he was before. I did say he was averaging roughly around 6th place in qualifying. He's in 12th at the moment, so he's got to find some more time. Shadow Stalker there, he's in 13th, with Greener Army rounded out 14th place of the drivers that can qualify, of course. There's DMK, he's in 6th place there. He's just heading through turn 3, approaching turn 4 at the moment. Zlatan looks like he could be on a better lap at the moment, and he is on a better lap. There we go. He's just 2/10 up on his lap currently. Got Haas there. He's on his final. He's run very wide coming out of turn 8. Might have lost a bit more momentum as well. Interesting use of the curb from Haas there as he goes through the corner, but it's not going to invalidate his lap time. We're now coming up towards the end of the qualifying session. Let's cut back to Zlatan. Did look like he was setting some quick sector times as we now come round turn 11. There's the finish. That is the final lap. Coleman's gone wide. That's out of the way for Zlatan. He doesn't have to worry about that. Nails the corner, runs wide. Will that give him a penalty coming out of the final corner? Stav's just set a 22.6. That's good enough for 6. There's the slowdown. And he'd set 22.3. But with the half-second penalty, he would have had pole. That's going to frustrate him for certain. D. Whitehouse, he's coming towards the line now. What's his lap time going to be? Doesn't go any quicker. So 22.9. Lowest qualifying of the season for Dave when he's been allowed to qualify. Snav He's in 6th place. Bertus has just set a 23.1. That's good enough to put him in the top 10. Danzo's in the pits. I don't know who else is on circuit at the moment who could set a time. Someone's coming towards the final straight. Can't quite tell who it is. Probably one of the lower drivers in terms of outside of the top 10, and they're approaching it quite slowly. But there, as it stands, is your pole position man. It's 18.05 in the Steel Seal number 18 car there. He's going to be very, very happy with that. Really good drive from him. Good lap time. Only driver in the 1:21s as well, so that's going to be really positive for him. Carter Boy keeping up his consistency as he has been all the way through the season in the number 30 car there. He's in second, just 700ths off 18.05. You've got Haas in third, Zlatan 4th, D Whitehouse 5th, Snav 6th, DMK 7th, Slow Seamus 8th, Coleman 9th, and Bertus rounds out the top 10. So, here we go then, into the race round Sardegna. Cars lining up then for the start of this 20-minute race. 18.05 on your right under the screen, Carter Boy on the left, 20 minutes on the right hand side. Here come the numbers. And the race is live at Sardegna. 18.05 looks like he's got a great start. Snav's done well as well off the third row of the grid. Great start for 18.05 though. Haas has had a great one as well. He's got alongside and potentially past Carter Boy before turn 1, which he has done. There's D Whitehouse, he's up to 4th. Snav is on his inside though. Haas looked very, very slow going through turn 1. That's compromised Carter Boy. It's also allowed Snav to try and go up the inside in the Power Products car. Bit of bumping through turn 3 there. It's going to be almost 3 wide potentially going into turn 1. Carter Boy's nipped back in. D Whitehouse has been pushed now by Snav, and that's Zlatan round. The pre-race favourite is round in the Adrian Flux car. That's really frustrating for him. D Whitehouse in the Hampshire car though, he's in 4th. Snav's up to 3rd. Carter Boy, despite his slow start, he's up into 2nd, but 18.05 has absolutely got away at the front. He's 1.8 seconds already as they approach turn 8. Looking a little bit further back, it seems as if Richard P might be making a move in the background. Danzo's there, he's also on the inside of Richard P. There's a bit of contact between Bertus and Richard P as they go through the corner. Where is Danzo? He's there on the outside, he's trying to look for inside, round the outside move on Bertus, who's hit the curb and gone right the way around to allow Green Army and Shadowstalker through. There's Bertus. Poor Zlatan, not sure entirely what happened to him at number 4, but he got turned round and the pre-race favourite's got a lot of work to do. There's Shadowstalker off, as is Danzo. Danzo potentially caught the back of him. I'm not sure about that. Danzo has waited for him, so we'll have to wait and see what's happened with that one. But Zlatan's 13th. 18.05 though has the lead of the race at the moment in the Steel Seal car. He's got a 1.3 lead over Carter Boy. Snav's 3rd. Seamus is up to 4th. He's got past D Whitehouse. We haven't seen that. Haas is down to 6th after briefly being 2nd at the start of turn 1. The MK's 7th. Kyonko-chan, despite starting last and not being able to qualify in the Zerkatak car, he's had a great opening lap and he's up to 8th. He's made use of it. Richard P, he's in 9th place. Coleman is in 10th, and a little bit of a gap back to Bertus, and Zlatan is now up to 12th. Not entirely sure what happened between Shadowstalker and Danzo though in the Tang Tools and Geisen cars respectively. Seemed to be as if Danzo was waiting for Shadowstalker, so we'll have to find out what happened there after the race as we now cut back to Seamus having to effectively defend. Kyonko-chan's gone into the gravel in the background at turn 8. He's lost a lot of time because of it. Seamus is 4th. D Whitehouse is down to 9th. We haven't seen it. The camera cut away. Just avoids Sir Bertus. He's moved right out the way onto the grass so he doesn't make any contact with anyone. Don't know whether that was fortunate or a lucky rejoin for D Whitehouse, but regardless, he's down to 12th, and that's a frustrating start for him. Coleman's benefited from that. Zlatan's come back effectively. He's now up to 11th, so he's going to have to try and fight his way back through the field. He's still got 16 minutes and a bit to go, so he's got time to try and make up some more positions. Haas is in 5th. We've got slow Seamus and Snav going through turn 3. Side by side, bit of contact between the two. Seamus was there. Seamus is still on the inside. Snav's trying to go around the outside of him. Snav is going to have the inside coming into turn 5. And sure enough, Snav gets that position. Haas has just had to take a penalty briefly. DMK has left the room. Again, it's another issue for DMK. Not sure what's happened in the sales I car, but that is it for him. He's out again. Seamus, though, he's trying to make a move and having a look on Snav. He's got a good run, but Snav, good blocking from him in the Power Products car. He's able to keep him. Seamus has got to keep an eye out for Haas behind him, though, as Carter Boy has got in front of 1805. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen what was happening. The time gap was 1.3 at the start of the lap, so as 1805 made a mistake somewhere potentially. It's going to have the slipstream on the way back through towards turn 1 as they go up the hill. Have to have a look at the other cameras in a moment. 1805 is going to try and go around the outside. I'm conscious of the battle for third as well. 1805 is on the outside. He's trying to make a move. Not quite happening. Snav on the other hand. Oh, Seamus has been pushed slightly wide. I think Haas was trying to give some room to Snav there, but Haas is up to 4th now. Seamus is 5th. We've got Richard P, he's in 6th place. Coleman's 7th. Bertus is 8th. D. Whitehouse is on his comeback now. He's up to 9th. Kyonko Chan's in 10th. Zlatan is in 11th and has now joined the back of this group. Although I have to say, I think he was ahead of D. Whitehouse with Zlatan earlier. So, as the Adrian Flux driver, lost a little bit of time. He's trying to go around the outside of Kyonko Chan. Probably not going to happen into turn 5. Kyonko Chan didn't have the best line, but that is the situation as it stands. Look at Snav. He's now having to defend from Haas. I said Haas was the quietest driver on the grid. He's getting into the action tonight as it stands. He's going towards turn 9. Is he close enough? Doesn't look like he's close enough at the moment. He's run a little bit wide. I don't think Seamus is close enough to try and look into turn 11. It's quite a difficult corner to try and make an overtake on. Is he going to have a look for 12 or is he going to wait for the slipstream? I think he'll wait for it. I'm going to briefly just exit and come back in just so we can get the cameras back into position as it cuts over to Greener Army there in the Dread car. On roof cam effectively with Haas, he's got the slipstream. I'm going to watch it from Seamus' point of view. Snav has gone defensive as we head towards turn 1. Haas on the outside. Haas looking for a cutback. Seamus right underneath the rear wing of the Renault Megane there, but he can't quite make a move. Although he's up the inside in the works car, he's all over the grass slightly. He kind of had to avoid Haas. He's still on the inside for turn 4 and he's got the move potentially done. Is Haas still there? He's still there, is Haas. Haas now has the inside coming into turn number 5. Is he going to be alongside enough? No, he's not. Seamus has to back out of it. Seamus was unfortunate. He really did try and get past. He's got good momentum coming down the hill as he approaches turn 8. I suspect Haas might go slightly defensive. He doesn't. He's far enough ahead. Richard P in the Mastervolt car looks for a late lunge, but he wasn't quite close enough. But Richard P's climbed up the order. Despite starting quite low down, Richard's managed to move his way through the field, so good driving from him. Got himself up to 6th. Coleman there, he's in 7th. D. Whitehouse, a lot of time to make up for D. Whitehouse at the moment. He's 4.6 behind. He did set a very quick lap last time out though, did Dave? He did a 22.4, which was 9 tenths quicker than Coleman, so potentially time, in a few laps time rather, he could catch up. Still on the roof cam as we head now towards turn 1 once again. Haas is close enough to Snav. Snav's having to defend. Tries to go around the outside. That's a really late lunge. He's gone too deep into the corner. Haas can't keep the place. I don't know if Seamus is close enough either to try and get past. He's not, unfortunately. His momentum was sapped, so he has to sit there. Richard P's watching all the chaos involved in front of him as well. They all go through turn number 4. Let's have a quick look at the fight at the front. I say the fight. Carter Boy has got a little bit of a gap now to 18.05. 1.2 seconds. These two are flying compared to Snav and the rest of the gang who are already fighting once again. Haas has had to go defensive once more from Seamus going down into turn number 8, but nothing doing for Seamus. And Snav's run wide. The pressure's got to him. Oh, he's tagged the back of Seamus there. I think that was accidental more than anything else. Looked like he went through the gravel, but he's gone from 3rd to 5th in the space of a corner. and he's got Richard P closing in on the back of him as well. Oh, he's clipped the curb. It's a huge sideways moment. Going to give Richard the momentum. He looks to the inside. He's not quite close enough. Now has he got the momentum on the exit of the final sort of half chicane almost. Little bit of contact between the two. Very odd considering the fact that they're on a straight. Richard P's on the inside though as they approach turn 1. There's still more contact between the two. It's not necessary. Absolutely not. Richard P's on the inside still. Has he got the move done? There's still more contact between these two. And Snav holds the position. A lot more contact than there needed to be there. They were on a straight line. I'm not sure about that from those two. Coleman is closing in on them. And like I said before with D Whitehouse, he is now closing the gap. So a potential four-way fight for 5th place. A lot of damage on the back of D Whitehouse's car. I wonder if he got turned round when we saw him facing the wrong way before. Zlatan is in 9th. He's 7 seconds behind though, and his lap times have been relatively erratic. I suspect that's because he's been fighting with Kyonko-chan and Suburtis. There's Shadow Stalker in the Geising guys 12th. Danzo having a quieter affair in the Tang Tools guys 13th, and there is Green Army who's just set a personal best on a 25.8. Looking to see the battles on track as we approach the halfway mark here at Sardegna. Seamus in the works car. Looks like he's got a relatively good run actually coming out of the final chicane. He did it earlier. So Haas with the indicator, rather the warning lights coming on. Seamus is swinging to the outside. He's tried this move before, or rather Haas has tried this move before, so Seamus is going to try and do it to him. He turns in. I don't think there's going to be enough space there. Haas is still on his inside. Seamus has clipped the curb, and that's the move for the time being effectively for Seamus. He's going to have to slot back in, which he does. Still a good fight between these two. Really is a wonderful scrap for the final place on the podium. Snav is still there, having to recompose himself now after his mistake earlier on in the race. There's Richard P, who's got, as I say that, as we cut to Coleman, D Whitehouse is on his inside. On the outside, it's completely flat. Almost contact between the two of them. Now there's contact a little bit as they go towards turn 8. I think D Whitehouse is going to have the move done, though he does. Good lap time from D Whitehouse on the last lap of 22.1, so he's right on the pace of the lead in 2. Still on the inside for turn 9, but that's the move sealed for D Whitehouse. He's up to 7th now in his number 7 car. Looking at the lap times from the front too, or rather the lonely Carter boy, he did a 22.1, so D Whitehouse is on the pace of the leader, so it could have effectively what could have been for D Whitehouse. 18.05 there, he's in the Steel Seal car, he's in 2nd, as now Seamus tries again to go around the outside of Haas on the approach to turn 1. Haas squeezing, but he just fends off Seamus going into turn 1 and as they approach turn 3. Now close between these two as it has been all race long, and they've actually managed to gap Snav slightly by just a second. So if these two can work together through the rest of the lap, they might be able to get away from Snav, who's put a good shift in. As Snav, he finished 3rd last time out at Lego Maggiore, so another top 5 result would be really good for him if he can hold on to it. Richard P in the Master Vault car is in 6th, good driving from him so far. D Whitehouse though is on a charge. He's the man to watch over the next few laps of 7 minutes 49 to go. There's Coleman, he's in 8th. Zlatan is now starting to get some lap times together. He did a 22.4 last time out, but it's going to be hard for him to try and come back to Coleman as it stands at the moment. Burtis is in 10th. He's got past Kyonko-chan. Not sure where that was on circuit. There's Shadow Stalker, who's not too far behind these two. I think its gap stands at 5.5 seconds, and his lap times are quite comparable to the front two, although he's gone into the gravel as the approach is turn 9. A bit of a rookie error almost from Shadow Stalker, and he's going to have Danzo in the Tang Tools car try and sweep around the outside of turn 11. This would be a great move if Danzo can pull this off. He's on the outside for the chicane, both drivers giving plenty of room, and Danzo gets the move done. Really good driving from the pair of them, really clean from both drivers, but Danzo the opportune move there, and he takes 12th place. Haas, in the meantime, is still in front of Seamus. He's got a tenth of a second penalty that he's going to have to try and get away with. Snav has now lost more ground to these two, so I suspect the fight for the podium is going to be between those two. Now, Richard P, on the other hand, has got the company in the form of Mr. Hampshire himself, D. Whitehouse. He's in 7th place and has been setting some very quick lap times, much quicker than Richard P on the last lap by 1.7 seconds. So I think that's Coleman who's just gone into the gravel in the background there. He just ran through that in the 3M machine. D. Whitehouse, though, on his recovery drive of 6 minutes to go. And Richard P in 6th place. In fact, Richard P, look, yeah, he did. I thought I caught the end of that. And Richard P has gone into the gravel trap as he approached the chicane. And what was looking like a really good race so far for Richard P, he's just put in a slight foot wrong, slight wheel wrong. And that's 2 places lost to Coleman and D. Whitehouse. And he's going to have Zlatan behind him as well, who's been setting some quick lap times. It's not over yet for Richard P with effectively 5.5 minutes to go. He's going to have to fend off Zlatan. Seamus, in the meantime, he's lost a little bit of ground to KZ2 Haas. Haas now looking like he's got about a second almost to Seamus. We've got Snav there in 5th place. D. Whitehouse now has a free run at him, so can he recover back into the top 5? That is going to be D. Whitehouse's goal with 5 minutes remaining. Coleman there, running well in 7th. Actually a really good performance from Jay Coleman so far. He's had 2 7th place results already. As it stands, he's on for another one. So he would be Mr. Consistent with 7th places across the board. So good driver. And Coleman, he's had a solid race. Richard P still has to try and defend from Zlatan there. Bertus has got away from Kyonko Chan now. The gap's out to 4 seconds. Danzo has also pulled away from Shadow Stalker. I think Shadow Stalker's made another mistake on the previous lap. And there's Greener Army, who's going to have, I think he already has been lapped actually by Carter Boy. And he has done. Carter Boy there going through turn number 4. He's had a fantastic race so far. Made a move early on in the race to get past 18.05, who was our pole sitter. But this is a really, really good result as it stands for the Steel Seal driver. If he can keep going, it'll be his best result of the season and one that's thoroughly deserved. He's had to toil for it. Haas still there in 3rd. Seamus 4th. Snav now having to defend from D. Whitehouse. We're going to ride on board with D. Whitehouse. We're going to go with floor cam as we come towards turn number 6. Completely flatten these cars, as it is probably in every car in this game at the moment. Flat through 7 as they approach turn number 8. Snav taking an inside line. D. Whitehouse definitely not close enough, but he is now. And he's left the gap. He's going to have to move out the way for him. Here comes D. Whitehouse up the inside. Clean as you like. Gets 5th place. Great overtake from D. Whitehouse there. He's up to 5th. I think with the time that's remaining though, it's going to be hard to see Dave, as he's known, move any further back as Snav's gone very sideways, brilliantly held. He's going to have Coleman behind him. I think Coleman's going to get past him. We're right on board with him. Great save from the Power Products driver, but he's going to lose a position as a result of that. Coleman up to 6th. Great save from Snav though. I genuinely thought he was going round. But looks like we've got another little fight with just under 3 minutes to go now. Zlatan, he's up to 8th. He's in 1.9 behind Snav. Keep an eye out for that gap with Zlatan. He's been doing some solid lap times since he set his personal best back on lap 8. Snav there, 7th, Coleman 6th. I think these positions as it stands, well, I was about to say as it stands, but Seamus is now starting to attack Haas going into turn 8. He's on the outside. He's had to brake a little bit earlier. Can he get any form of momentum coming up towards turn 9? Not quite. Haas shuts the door as they go round turn 9, approaching turn 10 completely flat. A little lift for turn 11. There you go. You can see it on the throttle indicator. A little lift from Seamus as he goes through there. And then through the chicane. Is he close enough? He's got a good run. Has Seamus. We're going to be behind him for the camera as we approach turn 1. This lap and one more to go for these two. Haas defending, good switch back from Seamus. He's not quite close enough though to try and pull that one off. Haas braking a little bit earlier as well to cover the inside. Really good driving from the two of them. Great creativity from Seamus to try and figure that one out. He almost pulled it off, but he wasn't quite close enough to get the move sealed. Going to look to the outside. He's not quite close enough though. And that is it as it stands at the moment. Looking a little bit further back, Snav has now got Zlatan for company. Zlatan has gone slightly into the back of the Power Products driver, and I think Zlatan's got the move done. Yes, he has, and he's set a new personal best in the first sector. So the Adrian Flux driver is up into 7th. He's got Coleman right in front of him, and this could be a potential 6th place depending on how he approaches the next lap. It's Zlatan. And we just got, oh, Zlatan very wide, almost going off circuit. Well held from him. He's really pushing the car. He wants to try and recover and get that 6th place. They've got traffic in front of them in the form of Greener Army in the Dread-sponsored car. And Coleman's run wide going through turn 11. It's put Zlatan all over the back of him. Slight contact. Greener Army's done exceptionally well not to get involved in that battle right there. We're going on to the final lap now. There is Zlatan. He's 4 tenths behind. I'm conscious of Haas and Seamus fighting further in front. So now it's a little bit further back. Is Zlatan going to look to the inside? No, he brakes very, very late. And Coleman's clipped the curb. He's kicked the curb. And Coleman has lost 7th place. And he might lose that as well to Snav, which he does. Sorry, he lost 6th place rather. Richard P has seen the checkered flag in the Mastervolt car, as has Kyonko Chan and the drivers behind him, we will come back to in a moment. But Coleman has, unfortunately, on the last lap, has dropped down to 8th place. He's going to be frustrated with that one. Shadow Stalker coming towards the line there in the Geisen car. Danzo has also finished. But we're going to cut back to Carter Boy 99 in the fast car. Quite literally tonight, he's been unstoppable. Fastest lap during the race. He qualified 2nd. He got the move done early on in the race. And Carter Boy is your winner for race number 4. Great result for him. 18.05. Finally, the luck goes his way in the Steel Seal car. He's got 2nd. Haas, he's going to take 3rd place. I don't know if Seamus made a mistake on the final lap. There's 2 seconds between them. But Haas takes 3rd. Seamus 4th. Brilliant recovery drive from the next two. D. Whitehouse, he's got 5th place despite his spin or punt, whichever the one may be. Adrian Flux driver there of Zlatan, he's got up to 6th. Great comeback for him. Snav takes 7th. Coleman was so close to getting a best result of the season in 6th, but he didn't quite make it. He takes 8th in the 3M car, and Suburtis, the last driver to officially see the checkered flag, is 9th in the Fuchs car. Great driving from everyone. What a race we had. But this is your race winner for tonight here at Sardegna in the fast car. It's Carter Boy 99, our championship leader, takes another victory. He's going to have a bit of a gap in the championship now. What a result for him. It finally went the right way for 18.05. He's been so unlucky over the first 3 rounds, but he finally got his podium that he fully deserved. And Haas, again, the quietly consistent driver, has got himself another podium, and he's been driving excellently throughout the season as Haas. It's a 3rd podium for him. We'll have to see what happened in terms of the incidents between D. Whitehouse 7 and Zlatan. We saw Zlatan get turned round, but we're not sure quite what led up to that. And D. Whitehouse as well went round, but we didn't quite see that either. We'll be back next week, of course, at round number 5, where the Meganes will be taken to the stage once again. Has to be said, tonight's racing has been absolutely excellent. Much better than last week in terms of the lobby. Technicalities have been worked out. There were no technical issues this time around, which is really pleasing to see. If you're interested in terms of joining our Next Gen community, then feel free to go and follow us on social media. We have Facebook, of course, we have the Next Gen Racing Group. We also have Twitter, Instagram, and we also have Discord as well for those who use any of the social medias that we've got across the board. It's fantastic. thank you to Power Match Racing for sponsoring this league and giving us some really good promotion. It has been excellent, and tonight's hopefully proven that to everyone who is watching. And next week we'll be at Red Bull Ring GP. We're going to be having some amazing slipstream battles around that circuit. But that's it next week though, and we will see you again at the same time next Thursday.